Hey guys, this is Nathan, and welcome back to the Unbound realm. Hope you guys are doing good today. I am doing great. So, I have been up here trying to get a few things figured out in our new village, and I realized there was something that I hadn't shown you guys, and that was the detailing down here in the downstairs. I showed some of it, but I did not show all of it, especially this in here, the office of the tavern owner. And my gosh, this is amazing. You know, so many little details of things, and I love this filing cabinet. I can't remember where I got this idea from. It may have been one of Grian's videos. I don't remember. But I did decide that I am just going to have the food in barrels around here. So yeah, we have some food in a few places here. And I'll just come down here and grab some food from time to time. But as I have been working on this area up here, I've realized that there is one very major problem. And that is that we have chests of junk all over the place. We have, you know, shulker boxes full of stuff in our ender chest. We have shulker boxes full of stuff in our inventory. We have shulker boxes full of stuff out here where we're working. I mean, this is a bit of a problem. And I know one of the things that I had said early on in the series was I didn't really want to have any type of a centralized storage area. I was basically keeping all of this stuff in the appropriate locations in the various buildings. So, like, I have most of my, well, stuff that's more valuable or things that don't make a lot of sense, and I better shut the door. And yeah, this is another issue, all of this stuff that I've gotten out of the Nether. But we have, you know, things like our diamonds and gold and stuff like that here. And we have a whole bunch of other just miscellaneous things, you know, and that kind of made sense. And then we have like the coal and the iron ore and a bunch of miscellaneous armor and weapons over here in the blacksmith shop. And by the way, we have a lot of coal ore, you know, just like we always have. Lots of iron ore and a decent number of iron blocks, lots of tools, you know, just in general, lots and lots of stuff. And it's getting to be kind of a pain to keep track of where everything is, having to go back and grab things all the time. And so I think I'm actually going to make myself a full-on automatic sorting system inside of this mountain, because I also have another plan for inside of this mountain. And you know what? I think I'm just going to show you guys what I have in mind. So we're quickly going to quit the world. We're going to head into my creative world real quick. And it is this thing that I have in mind. So this is a design by Ilmango. And let me tell you, it took me a while to figure it out because I don't want to use a TNT duper. And so I had to figure out how to make it work with just a dropper or a dispenser full of TNT. But one thing that I am always running out of is stone. And this thing is literally insane. Just watch this. According to Ilmango, this thing will average 135 cobblestone per explosion of TNT. Now, I did a lot of work on a cobblestone generator here in the last live stream that I did, and I found out that you really can't blow up too much cobblestone just by having it sit in a spot. But what happens here is when the blocks are moving, the game forgets the blast resistance of the block. And so we can actually have this cobblestone blow up as if it has no blast resistance, which is absolutely amazing. And so to deal with the vast number of drops that this thing puts out, we need, I calculated it out to close to 24 hoppers to pick up all the items. So if this thing runs nonstop, it just pumps out the items like none other. Based on what Ilmango says it will produce, it actually needs somewhere in the order of 450 furnaces to smelt all of this cobblestone into smooth stone as it is being created. So yeah, I don't think we're going to be doing that, but I will be building this thing, and let me tell you, it is massive. It is 4 double cobblestone generators, so it produces 2 cobblestone per slice per section of this machine, and the machine is 9 blocks wide. So yes, it produces massive amounts of cobblestone. It produces so what does that come up to? We've got 18, 36, 72 cobblestone per cycle. Is that right? Yeah, we've got 8 by 9, yeah. Absolutely insane amounts of cobblestone. Completely flawless. It did take me a while to figure out the timings up here. This is where the issue was. And let me tell you, if either of these repeaters is off by just 1 tick, this doesn't work. It will literally push the cobblestone in until it closes up the gap between, and the cobblestone will start blowing up on top of, or the TNT will start blowing up on top of the cobblestone. Doesn't really do much, but yes, there is definitely a lot going on, and you can see what happens when the TNT blows up at the incorrect intervals. Sometimes it blows the TNT away, and I will say, I rebuilt this thing several times before I got the timing right. But you can also see this is going to take a huge amount of redstone supplies, lots of observers, repeaters, tons of pistons, hoppers, all kinds of stuff. And so yes, we have a lot of stuff to collect before this will actually be able to be built. But to build this, I want to make sure that I have all of my items sorted first. So I do have an idea for an item sorter that I want to make, and this item sorter is also going to take a huge amount of resources because I actually want to make a programmable item sorter. Now, I saw a link for this particular item sorter in a video by Impulse SV, and I will try to go and find that link again, and I'll paste that link in the description of the video. And yeah, I'm going to head back to the Unbound realm, get a whole bunch of resources together, and try to get started on that sorter. So I have been doing some thinking about what I want to do with this item sorter, and I actually don't think I want to build it inside of this mountain. I think we can actually find some better things to do with that. What I think I'm actually going to do is build this underneath our first village, which means there is going to be a huge amount of digging needed to be done here. Because one thing that I have done underneath this area is to completely fill in all of the caves, including the original caves, or the original tunnel that I used to get down to diamond level. So we can see if I come down here, this was the original staircase that brought me down, and we can see it only goes up a little ways, and then this tunnel leads over to the zombie spawner that I found fairly early on. So yeah, I actually think I am going to be working down here. Now, one nice thing is that I do have netherite tools, and I have beacon effects here. So I can very quickly mine this all out. Now, one thing that I definitely want to do is make sure that I am deep enough that I will not cause any issues with any of the builds here. Now, thankfully, none of these really go into the ground. The only one that goes any amount into the ground is the tavern, and that is simply for the food dispensing system. So if we head down in here into our service area of the food dispensing area, this is as far down as I go. So let's see here. This is at Y59. 59 and an eighth. So apparently a comparator or a repeater is an eighth of a block tall. Makes sense. It is 2 pixels. So yeah, I guess I suppose we could start our sorter then at like, or the area at least, at about Y55 at the top level, and we should not have any issues with any of the builds, and we should also be below any of the sea level related stuff. Now the only thing that could be an issue there is if we accidentally dig out into the ocean or into the river that is on the other side. But yeah, it looks like I have a whole bunch of digging to do, which is actually a good thing because stone always seems to be something that I'm looking for. So, yep, I am going to get to digging, and I should come back with a very large hole in the ground. So, I now have a very large hole underneath my first village, I guess. And I have some ideas here. As I was digging this out, I was thinking about what I was going to do, which, by the way, this is a cat spawning area. Cats just keep spawning in here. And they despawn too, which I did not know that cats did. But anyway, I was going to build the Catagorizer, which was made by Maizuma Games. Now, that is a very good sorting system, but there is a very distinct problem with it in the fact that it needs to have at least 2 items of a stackable item in the system every time that the minecart runs through the system. Otherwise, it just doesn't work. So, yeah, I mean, it's slow, it's clunky, and it's a great storage system, don't get me wrong, but I need something a little faster than that, especially when you look at the number of chests that I got just from digging this out. You know, we got lots of granite and diorite and andesite and a bit of gravel, and then we've got smooth stone, I believe, dirt and smooth stone, smooth stone, a whole bunch of ores, which actually quite a bit of useful ores, a lot of mob drops, which, mob drops, a bunch of cobblestone, and more smooth stone. You know, so yeah, lots and lots of items that came out of this hole alone. So instead, I think I'm going to make kind of a conglomeration of several sorting systems, as well as one that I don't think I've ever seen before. But we need to start out with a system to unload, well, that we can dump our inventory or a shulker box in, and it will automatically unload everything, throw it into the system. Now, something that I have been experimenting with is the use of minecart hoppers to pull the items out of a chest quickly. So we're going to quickly head back over to my creative world. We're going to take a look at some stuff here. So I have here a double chest on top of 2 minecart hoppers that are sitting on top of 4 hoppers each. Now, this thing is absolutely insane. So if we take some redstone and drop it in here, until I release my center mouse button, this is not going to go. But as soon as I do, look at how fast these items flow out of here. Now, it will flow at this speed until 20 stacks have entered the system. But it is insanely fast because we are pulling items out of this double chest at a rate of 8 hoppers, which we can't do in any way, shape, or form any other way. So, yes, what we're going to do is we're going to take these 8 hoppers that are moving items out of here, and we can see even on a double chest how fast stuff is coming in here. But now at this point, this is how fast items will get pulled out of the hopper or the double chest when the system is fully loaded. Of course, a shulker box unloader will go at half of this speed because it can't do 2 minecart hoppers. I guess I could go with 6 hoppers underneath instead of 8. But yes, there's there's some stuff that I can do to possibly increase the speed of a shulker box unloader. But these 8 hoppers will go into 8 distinct item streams that are going to then run through a series of sorters to help alleviate the main sorting system's job. So each one of these streams is going to go through a non-stackable item filter. So, and actually that's the only one that will be in this stream, because at that point we have everything removed that we don't want in the system. But after the non-stackable item filter, these will go into droppers that will then throw the items into an item stream, and it will run through a traditional item sorter, much like this guy right here. So this is the design from Impulse SV. It is the traditional item sorter with overflow protection. So we can throw in a whole bunch of stuff and it will flow down to 41 items. We can stack these right next to each other, and it is good enough to work with items or water streams over the top of it. So that's what we're going to be doing. We're also going to make it a double wide sorter. So the items will be going down the middle here. Now I did experiment with that here on the cobblestone generator. So you can see we have hoppers on both sides. If we turn this guy on, this is one of the best ways to demonstrate this because it throws items out so quickly. So if we drop down here, we'll see that right now these hoppers are all empty and items comes flying around here. We've got items in that one, we've got items in this one. So it will fill both sides of the hoppers. And yeah, we can pull items out of that item stream really fast. So we can have the same item in both hoppers. We can have different items in both hoppers. It doesn't really matter. But anyway you look at it, it's going to pull the items out quickly. So then the non-stackable item stream is going to go through a few additional item sorters. The first one is going to be a potion sorter. So it will remove all of the potions from the item stream, and any non-potion items will continue on. After that, we are going to run it through a minecart sorting system, which will remove any possible minecarts that have been put into the item stream. After that, it is going to go through a shulker box sorting system, which is pretty simple in the fact that, we can have a dispenser actually place a shulker box down. So if it places the item down, we can time some hoppers to actually determine whether or not, if the item is just spit out, it will be picked up by the hopper. And then a little bit later, we have a piston fire, break the shulker box, and then the shulker box gets picked up by the hopper, and that would go to a different route. Now, this is the last one, the one that I have not seen yet. So this is going to be the final sorter in the system, and it is going to be for armor. So what we can do here, and I'm just going to reset the system. So we have in this a dispenser full of armor stands. We have a dispenser with some armor pieces and a non-armor piece. And then we have a dispenser full of arrows, which I should have plenty of arrows to keep this stocked, and we'll have this system in a place that it can draw off of our arrow storage in our main storage system. But so what we do is we will have a redstone system set up that will first dispense an armor stand. Then it will attempt to equip an armor piece to that armor stand. Now, if at the time that this is happening, we will have this hopper locked. So if the armor piece is equipped to the armor stand, there will be no item put into the hopper. The system will know that, hey, we just got an armor piece, and it will fire an arrow out of the dispenser, breaking both the armor stand and the armor piece. Now, this is a bit of a problem. I've seen this a couple of times where the armor stand is hopped out of the system, and I may just have to make a larger area of hoppers around this in order to keep that from happening. I don't know. It'll take some experimentation. But so when it fires that, it will redirect the item stream in the hoppers to a different location where it will come up, and the armor stands will be resorted back out of the system to go back into the dispenser, and then the armor piece, which is right here, will go on to an armor chest. Now, unfortunately, we can't sort the armor by what it is, but we can at least sort the armor and the tools and weapons and other non-stackable items that are remaining in the system at that point off. So yes, that will be very helpful and very handy. So we've got several systems to build. I'm going to head back to the Unbound realm, and I'm going to start with this guy here, the unloading system, and we're going to have right next to it the shulker box unloading system. And actually, I guess now that's an idea. I could actually have to where you could dump shulker boxes in this as well and have those sorted off early on. That's actually a good idea, because otherwise we'll end up with those being into this system, the non-stackable system. Yeah, okay. Well, so I am going to get this set up, and that will be the start of our sorting system, and we're just going to kind of layer modules on from there. And yeah, it's going to probably take every bit of the room that I have in that giant hole, and maybe even a little more. So yep, I'm going to head back over to the Unbound realm, and I'll see you guys after I got a little bit of stuff built up. So a little bit of progress has been made. We have actually the first system set up for doing the non-stackable item filtering. So I did some checks on various different designs, and this is actually the design that I am going with. It is a slight modification of the design by Mumbo Jumbo, but we have a line of hoppers coming into the system, a comparator dumping into a block. Now on top of that block is redstone dust, and redstone dust on top of the one next to it. So whenever an item comes into the hopper, this is powered. Now, if the power strength is high enough to register beyond one piece of redstone, which would be a non-stackable item, it will come over to this block, which will turn off this torch, powering the redstone, or depowering the redstone underneath it, depowering the block. This repeater turns off and allows an item to be sucked into the hopper underneath. Now, I did originally have this set up with the dropper directly next to this first hopper underneath, but I found that items were always getting stuck in this hopper, because once the hopper was repowered, it would no longer shove items out. But by putting the hopper underneath, this one can still grab an item out of this hopper when this hopper is powered. So we get a 100% of the time, if we throw an item in here, it will end up getting spit out down here. Now, to spit these out, I have a very simple redstone clock here. I have a comparator and subtract mode coming off of the dropper, a repeater off of that powers a block, and then 4 redstone dust going back here. This redstone dust cycles the repeater and then also powers this block, which will power the dropper. So if we throw in some stackable items, it will also run until literally every single item runs through the system. And there's no extra clicks or anything like that. Now, I've repeated that exact same system here for the stackable item dropper. So now, if we go here and throw, we'll throw half a stack of cobblestone, our axe, our bow, our shovel, both pick, and 1 pick. So now what we'll see is on this side, we will have nothing but a pile of cobblestone. Okay, that's perfect. Now on this side over here, we will see the bow, the axe, the pickaxe, and the shovel. All of the items that we put in, everything is empty. There are no items left in the hoppers. This is absolutely perfect. So now what I need to do is do this 8 more times and figure out how I'm going to get all of this to fit together. Now, once these items are dispensed out, it's not a big deal, because we will be dispensing them into water streams. Those water streams will then go on to additional areas. You know, we'll have an area for the non-stackable items to be sorted, probably over on this side. And then the stackable items will enter into a water stream that will run over our traditional stacking item sorter with overflow protection from Impulse SV. Thank you very much, Impulse. I do have to say, thank you very much for that design. I am so glad, because, I mean, I built the original item sorter that most people were building back in the day, you know, where you had this, you have a torch here, redstone repeater, you have a block here, redstone dust on these two, and then this and a comparator right there. Then you would have your hopper line running across here. You know, this is a very simple, and actually we'll go this way. So this is a very, very simple item sorter, but it does not have overflow protection. And typically we would take, I think we would go, I'm kind of drawing a blank on how this worked. This has to be, no, this, yeah. So this one does have to be the, into the comparator, and then up above here, this is where we would have our item chain. Then the one down below acts as the filter, so we would set up, you know, however many filter items plus however many normal items we wanted. And so this will run down until there are, I believe, 22 items in here. No? Did I screw something up? What did... I must have screwed something up. Anyway, look at it. I think I've got something screwed up. I think it might be the position of the blocks. But anyway, I built many of these, and yeah, they have the distinct problem of running over on items and breaking all of the filters and everything. Not a good thing. So yeah, I will be very, very much using that stackable, or overflow protection item filter. So yeah, 8 more times, well, 7 more times on these 2 systems here. Try to figure out how it's all going to fit together, and then I'll be back. So I had a live stream, and I worked on the unloading and stackable item sorting system. We got it done. This portion is finished, but my god, is it huge! But it is insanely fast. So it sorts all stackable and non-stackable items apart from each other, dispenses them into water streams, and then sends them on their way. So, to demonstrate this, we are going to grab a water bucket, a bucket, a stack of stone, and these. So, yeah, those 5 items. So, we'll just go ahead and throw these in here, and we'll see insanely fast the chest is empty again. And then if we look over here, we have an empty bucket and some smooth stone bouncing over here. So if we come over here, we get a full stack of smooth stone and an empty bucket. And then over here, we should have a water bucket, a bow, and a pickaxe. I love it. It is great. Stackable items end up over there. Non-stackable items right here. We can now run these into our various different item sorting systems. Now, the first thing that I want to do, the non-stackable items, I'm just going to have them go into a generic bunch of hoppers dumping into a bunch of chests. No big deal at the moment. We will get those modules put in eventually. The big thing is to get this side. The stackable item side, we desperately need to get that set up so that the items that come up this item elevator can run across the top of many item sorters and be sorted into the appropriate chests. Now, of course, some items are going to require multiple sorters in order to keep up, and then we will also have the items go in a loop. So they will come up this, around, and they will circle around the loop. So if a set of chests ends up completely filling, what we will end up with is items despawning in the loop. Now, we do need to be a little careful with that at first, because we need to make sure that we have a chest for literally every single stackable item in the game. And I have no idea how many items that is. But, yeah. I'm just tickled to death that this works and how fast it empties that. Oh my god, it empties the stuff fast. And then it's very little time at all. And we have all of those items over here at the discharge point. So, oh, I am loving it. This is the beginnings of a massive system that is going to be great. So, yep. I think that's going to be it, though, for this episode. So I'm going to say thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the episode, be sure to give a thumbs up. If you are new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. If you have any thoughts about what I've been working on or anything that you would like to see, be sure to leave that down in the comments. Be sure to check out the live streams over on Twitch now. Link should be down in the description. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.